Ruchika, I guess you can do that.
Sorry for the delay. Now I would like to welcome joint patron for the event, Dr. Jayanta Chaudhary sir. He is a founder and secretary of Journal Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development. He's presently working as a faculty, Department of Rural Management and Development, Tripura University, and is also working as a state institute at the State Institute of Rural Development, Tripura, and National Institute for Rural Development, Hyderabad, India. He did his PhD and Masters in Rural Development from University West Bengal. He teaches different subjects such as rural development, planning and project management, financial equities, social entrepreneurs to PG students. He is the author of eight books and more than 35 research articles published in national and international journals. He serves as an editor for International Journal of Rural Development and Management Studies. Uh, um, he has received global awards for Best Professor in Rural Development from World Education Congress 2015, Board Outlook Teacher Award in the year 2006. Uh, Now, I would like to welcome Sir to say a few words on the occasion. Jayanta sir, the stage is all yours.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. No. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our program, and thanks to the our young team who are organizing the entire program. And on behalf of GFSRD, welcome all of you. I am sure that this program will learn a lot of things, a lot of information you will get because health is very important for everybody. And uh, our entire team, they are working, and we are working in collaboration with Microbiology Society of India. We are almost our partner for this mm, different program. And as you know, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development is a platform for academicians, practitioners, as well as the policymakers and others. Uh, we have been 17 global knowledge center. Uh, this center, we have this different way. We are taking sustainable rural development, and all the centers are interrelated. So today's program is being organized by our Global Center of Youth Development. A lot of youth people, they are organizing this, as well as Global Center of Public Health Care and Management. So both the center together, along with Microbiology Society, we are organizing this program, and uh, I'm sure that you will get a lot of insight about this today's importance and how it is important in your day-to-day life, and you'll learn a lot from our distinguished guest speakers. With this, I wish this program will be immense success. And once again, I'm thankful to all the our youth team who are leading, who are organizing, and they are really asset for our team, and everything they are managing. So it's a great learning from youth also. Uh, Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you. Thank you once again. Stay with us.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching and inspiring words. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Nidhi, and it's my absolute honor to introduce our joint patron, Professor Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, the esteemed president of Microbiologist Society India. Dr. Deshmukh, the founder and All India president of Microbiologist Society India, has been instrumental in building this pioneering organization that fosters collaboration and innovation in microbiology nationwide. Under his leadership, the Society has become a dynamic platform uniting professionals and students across India to exchange knowledge and drive forward thinking research in microbiology. Throughout his remarkable career, Dr. Deshmukh has made invaluable contributions to microbial research, especially in microbial biodiversity, ecology, and biotechnology. As professor and head of the Department of Microbiology at Baba Sahid Ambedkar, Marthwada University in Maharashtra, he influenced generation of students and researchers, setting high standards in both teaching and scientific inquiry. Dr. Deshmukh has authored numerous influential papers that have significantly expanded our understanding of microbial systems. His dedication has not only advanced scientific knowledge but also has inspired countless microbiologists across the country. We are deeply honored to have him with us today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. A.M. Deshmukh as joint patron in our symposium. Over to you, sir.
Deshmukh sir, I would like to request you to kindly unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can.
So
Yes, sir.
I'm really happy today for attending the webinar or seminar, we can say, on a very, very burning topic, on a special occasion. Occasion is that World Pneumonia Day. And throughout the world, pneumonia deaths are more and increasing day by day. So it is a very important to focus a light on causes, spread, and control of pneumonia. And I'm very happy to know that Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development is doing a work on youth development and creating an awareness. And very, very renowned speakers like Dr. D. Cruz, then Mrs. Pritha Ghosh, Anjana Singh. Anjana Singh is my very close colleague. Professor Dr. Retno is also my good friend. And Kukreja, very studious. And Kalyani, Dr. Kalyan, they are focusing the light. And all these are studied, having good knowledge of the pneumonia. I'm sure all attendee will increase, they will increase their knowledge, and they will percolate this knowledge among their friends. So on World Pneumonia Day, you have organized very best event. I will say it is a best feast to the students about the knowledge, about the awareness. As a president of Microbiologist Society, I really appreciate the efforts of organizing committee. Srivastav sir is also there. So he is also my good friend. I appreciate the efforts of all team and wish all the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Deshmukh. That was
very kind for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, respected colleagues, and students, good evening. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce today's esteemed chief guest, Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz. Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz is a distinguished retired principal at St. Xavier's College, Autonomous, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, India. Sir has served as a professor in the Department of Botany until June 2023. Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz is a professional and respected leader in his field, known for his unwavering commitment to excellence, innovation, and the advancement in the field of botany and ethnobotany. With an academic and professional career that spans over 29 years, Dr. D. Cruz has made significant contributions also to the broader community through his work. Sir has been awarded numerous fellowships in national and international academies. To name a few, Dr. D. Cruz has been awarded the Young Scientist Award at National Seminar on Strategies to Understand Sustainable Utilization of Plant Wealth, scholarship to attend the 11th International Congress of AIDS in Asia and the Pacific, held in Bangkok, Thailand, fellowship in generic resources and enhancement with special reference to DNA fingerprinting techniques in plants under the guidance of Dr. N. Sitarama. Dr. D. Cruz holds a PhD in botany and ethnobotany and has served as an honorary member of the Honorable Editorial Board of the IJBST Journal Group, Fellow of Society of Ethnobotanists, and life member of Indian Botanical Society as well as Gujarat Bioscience Society. Dr. D. Cruz has a number of scientific and review papers and book chapters to his credit. Sir has commercialized herbal medicines and food products which can alleviate ailments in people. Dr. D. Cruz has also discovered and named a new species of geranium, Geranium abuensis. Beyond his professional achievements, Dr. D. Cruz is also known for his dedication to eco-spirituality and eco-education activities, promoting alternate energies and traditional medicines, and conducts programs to increase eco-awareness, working tirelessly to create a positive impact on society. His work has not only advanced our understanding of botany, but has also paved the way for future generations to build upon his legacy. Sir is also an esteemed founder of Adi Aushadhi, which is beneficial for tribal medical practitioners involved in the cultivation and marketing of tribal medicines. We are fortunate to have Dr. D. Cruz with us today to share his invaluable insights and experience. His wisdom, foresight, and commitment to progress are qualities that continue to inspire and challenge those who work alongside him. Without further ado, it is my great pleasure to invite Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz to deliver the keynote address and share his thoughts with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good evening to all of you. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So I am deeply honored to be part of this international symposium on pneumonia. And I must say at the outset that I am basically a botanist. So I'm not going to really share too much about pneumonia, but I think you have a lot of very good experts who are lined up to speak after me, and they will surely enlighten you about that. I want to say a few things about and to congratulate actually this alliance of organizations that has come together to organize this international symposium on championing the fight to stop pneumonia. So World Pneumonia Day, from what I have seen, is something that was begun somewhere in 2009 after the discussion took place at the United Nations for the importance of pneumonia, the threat that pneumonia posed to human society, and the Stop Pneumonia campaign by the Global Collaboration Against Child Pneumonia was actually started in 2009. So there are two groups that are very vulnerable to pneumonia. One is children who are very young, under the age of 5, and elderly people. And obviously, children and elderly people in developing countries, in the so-called, underdeveloped countries, in these countries are much more at a higher risk in order to get pneumonia. So you need an alliance, you need a group, you need people to come together on a platform in order to address this issue. And this World Pneumonia Day, the attempt is precisely to create awareness, to create awareness, to create an understanding of how pneumonia is caused. There are different types of organisms which cause it, the symptoms, the latest research that is done with regard to pneumonia, how it can be prevented. It is easily preventable, actually, and that is the sad part, that a disease which we can actually take care of. A large number of people are actually dying in the world today. This World Pneumonia Day celebration started off somewhere in 2017. I read on the net, with the Every Breath Counts Coalition, the Every Breath Counts Coalition. And that's the similar to the title that we have today, Every Breath Counts. Stop pneumonia in its track. So every breath, each one of you who is attending this webinar, this symposium, every one of you and each one of us is responsible for ensuring that, innocent people, innocent children below the age of 5 and elders do not really, suffer and die because of this disease. And I really would like to congratulate all these organizations that have come together to organize this event. And I think it's very significant. The Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, the Global Center for Youth Development, St. Xavier's College Autonomous Ranchi, Dr. Ajay Srivastav is my good friend, and I think he needs to be congratulated. The Microbiology Society of India, which organizes a number of events, for young budding microbiologists, and to bring together, eminent scientists as well as youngsters in the field. The Global Center for Public Health and Management. So all these organizations today, it is important that we come together in order to address some of these very significant issues. Like I said, I'm not an expert on pneumonia itself, so I will not, get into that. But I think we need to understand that we must be concerned about those sections of society which are more vulnerable. And today, as we know, we already said it is young children. We already said it is older people. Death rate is very high among adults above 65 years and older. And the other important thing about pneumonia is that it's not a seasonal. It's not something that happens in a particular season. It can happen at any time of the year, and therefore people are at greater risk. Other things happen during a particular time of the year, and we can take some precautions. In today's age and time, it's, I think, significant that this forum is looking at people who are more vulnerable. Children living in areas with low vaccination rates. We do have vaccines that are available, but with various factors lead to areas where children have are actually find it difficult to be vaccinated. Rising malnutrition in homes that use polluting fuels for cooking and heating. These are all children who are very, very vulnerable. And older adults exposed to outdoor air pollution significantly from burning fossil fuels and from smoking. And they say that almost half of the estimated 1.5 million pneumonia deaths among adults over 50 are due to air pollution or are attributable to air pollution and to smoking. The figures of people who are affected by pneumonia and died because of pneumonia are quite stunning. And in 2021, pneumonia claimed 2.2 million lives, including more than 5 lakh children. COVID, in addition, added another additional 10 million. So these are all figures that show us how challenging is the task that we have ahead. And the UNICEF reports that one child succumbs to pneumonia every 39 seconds. Every 39 seconds. So that is how urgent the matter is. As I said, I'm extremely thankful to the organizers for this occasion to be here at this symposium. Thanks for the honor of making me the chief guest. I don't think I deserve that, but I think I want to wish this alliance of organization that has come together in this significant, challenging battle against pneumonia on this occasion of World Pneumonia Day. I like to wish you all the best. I'd like to pray that Almighty God blesses your efforts uh, as you join together in this alliance to champion the fight to stop pneumonia. Once again, all the best, and I wish you a very fruitful and enriching seminar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your wonderful words. Next, I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Preetha Ghosh, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Microbiology, St. Pius Degree and PG College for Women, Hyderabad, Telangana. Preetha ma'am is a teaching professional with 20 years of experience in teaching and research. She has qualified ICAR NET, GATE, and was awarded MPhil degree with distinction. She also received the Best Paper Award, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Azad Young Scientist Award in Microbiology, Academic Excellence Award 2022. Her areas of expertise and research interests are molecular biology, microbial genetics, cell and molecular biotechnology, among others. The list of her activities and accomplishments includes conferences, seminars, workshops, training, and certificate courses. She has published book chapters, research articles in national and international journals, as well as in conference proceedings. In addition to being a member of various in-house committees, Mrs. Preetha Ghosh has served as convener and a member of the organizing committee for international and national conferences. During the past few years, she has served as a resource person for state-level workshops and student programs. Her experience includes guiding students in a variety of life projects as part of academic exhibitions. Mrs. Preetha is a member of many professional bodies, including Indian Association of Academicians and Researchers, Indian Association of Applied Microbiologists, and Association of Microbiology Society of India. Ma'am is a certified master trainer on Indian knowledge systems, and today we are glad to have ma'am among us today. I would like to request you, ma'am, to kindly take over and share with us a wonderful speech. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening to the distinguished dignitaries present on this virtual platform, and thank you, Nitika, for your introduction, introducing me to the participants present in this virtual platform. Really, it's a privilege to address you all on this important occasion, that is World Pneumonia Day, which we do celebrate every year on 12th of November. And today we have gathered here to focus on the disease. Despite modern medical advances, addressing pneumonia basically requires a multi-dimensional strategy targeting several fronts. So let's begin by setting this context. I'll just be sharing my PPT. Yeah, are the slides visible, Nitika?
Ma'am, not really. We can't see your slides now.
Okay. 1 second. Just give me a second.
Sure, ma'am.
Ma'am, slide is visible.
Yes. I think now the slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So we'll begin with yes, as today we are celebrating this World Pneumonia Day. That is the theme for 2024. 2024 is Every Breath Counts, Stop Pneumonia in its Track. And for Asia, right, it's breathe easy and live healthy. So here I have just pasted one picture of Avengers. So as I have seen, I'm a member of this, not a member, I'm a volunteer of this particular organization. So as volunteer, I have seen many students taking up many activities. I think in the long run, this forum will come up with likewise activity wherein they will become the Avengers, right, to battle the pneumonia. So continuing with this today's program, the main objective of celebrating this day is to basically spread awareness and educate people to combat pneumonia disease. And as right now I have said, the theme for this particular year is Every Breath Counts, Stop Pneumonia in its Track. So this Global Pneumonia Day basically was first observed way back in the year 2009 under the Stop Pneumonia Initiative, basically with an aim of fighting the child mortality due to this respiratory infection, as rightly said by our chief guest. So on this occasion, coalition of UN agencies like WHO, UNICEF, and international NGOs, they basically come together for awareness campaigns, healthcare support, and with better healthcare policies in basically the underdeveloped or the susceptible countries. And this particular slide basically shows, Nitika, can I go with the slideshow?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yeah. So just once tell me whether the slides are moving or not in between. So this particular slide basically gives the information pertaining to the number of cases of childhood pneumonia, right, reported under Health Management Information System 2023, the recent reports. And according to this particular report, we can see that in India, basically Uttar Pradesh, right, it is in the first position with many number of cases. So going with this pneumonia, basically the word pneumonia, it's a Greek word, right, pneumon, right, meaning lung. So basically pneumonia is a disease which is related to the lungs. So basically here we can see, right, our lungs, they comprise of bronchi, next tracheal region, bronchi, and these bronchi, they basically have these particular healthy alveoli regions. So in case of pneumonia disease, what happens is basically the inflammation of this inflammation in the alveolar wall do take place, and the air space in turn is filled with fluid, which in turn restricts the oxygen supply. Now coming to the types of
Sorry to
pneumonia.
interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry to
Pardon?
interrupt you, but your slide is not moving actually.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
stuck
Okay.
on
Okay.
that chart slide. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. So yes. So are the slides visible, Nitika?
Yes, ma'am. You can
Yes.
see it.
So
Yes.
I'll be in this mode only. Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
Fine. So as you can see, clearly distinguish how the healthy alveoli look like, and the basically the diseased one in turn look like, wherein the particular the lumen region basically gets filled with fluid, right? In turn, later in the later stages, it in turn restricts the oxygen supply. Now, coming to the types of pneumonia, basically we do have three categories based on source of infection, on microbes, and on anatomy. So on source of infection, we basically do have community. It can be divided into three: community acquired, hospital acquired, and also ventilator acquired pneumonia. And based on microbes, they may be bacterial, viral, fungal, or parasitic. And coming to the based on anatomy, we also do have two categories, basically bronchopneumonia and lobar pneumonia. So now here, basically this in turn, the other, the picture in turn shows the burden of ARI, that is acute respiratory infections. And this you can see pneumonia, the percentage, okay, the share which pneumonia occupies is quite more, that is 19%. So basically, what are the risk factors which do which do in turn manifest this particular pneumonia disease? They being as children below the age of 5 years and old age persons above 65 years. Different types of infections, very chronic diseases, smoking, and the pollutants. These are the particular risk factors which do trigger the pneumonia disease. So now, basically, if at all we see based on microbes, we do have the bacterial pneumonia and the viral pneumonia. So in case of viral, right, the first place is in turn occupied by the influenza virus type, cytomegalovirus. Bacterial, right, the organism basically responsible for the pneumonia is Streptococcus pneumoniae. Earlier it was called as pneumococcal pneumonia. Next, Klebsiella pneumonia, Haemophilus influenza, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and Streptococcus species, basically. Now coming to the fungal, it is Pneumocystis carni. Basically, it's a fungal pneumonia. Basically, it's a rare type of fungal infection, and here basically this organism attacks the particular patients with impaired immune function. Whereas coming to the parasitic, it is parasitic necrotizing pneumonia. Basically, it is uncommon and it triggers a type of parasitic lung illness, which is called as your pulmonary strongyloidiasis. And basically, it affects people with compromised immune system, wherein that means where the patients or the persons where the person's immunity is not to that particular extent, and basically seen in regions with high parasitic infection rates. So now the next slide in turns, right, this is nothing but a comparison of the prevalence rate of viral infection between India and the rest of the world. And if at all you see the prevalence rate, the percentage rates, right, and these are the various viruses which do trigger this particular pneumonia. And if at all you see the prevalence rate, right, in India, it's a little bit high comparative when you compare it with the rest of the world statistics. Now, what are the pathways to prevention and progress? So it is a simple PDTR approach, but we need to actually the government agencies, as at the level of community, at the level of an individual, we need to follow this approach. So that PDTR approach is basically this: prevent, diagnose, treat, and research. So how can we prevent? That is basically through vaccination, right? Maintaining good hygiene and also sanitation. Diagnose, yes, you need to diagnose accurately and promptly by various tests. Next, treat effectively with antibiotics and also oxygen therapy. Why? Because basically it restricts the oxygen supply in chronic stages. So oxygen therapy is one particular way in order to treat. Right. Next one is the innovative strategies to combat pneumonia. Yes, immense research need to be carried out, right, to come up with the strategies to combat pneumonia. Now we shall just focus on to the opportunities for innovation and global collaboration or the cooperation. So obviously, as now we are facing the challenge of tackling this pneumonia on a global scale. So obviously, innovation is obviously a beacon of hope. So the development of new diagnostic tools, right, basically in terms of advancements in vaccine technology and the rise of, you can say, as digital health solutions, also offer a quite transformative potential, right? And apart from that, next one is the global collaboration, right? It is essential, right? Very essential, but in my sense, to advance these particular, what are the innovations and the research which are taking place in order to implement them and where they are mostly needed. That is basically in the particular countries which are not accessible to these particular vaccination, or where the countries or the particular areas wherein the good hygiene, right, sanitation is in turn not maintained. Apart from this, yes, the other one is the partnerships, right? Partnerships between governments, between international organizations, private companies, and also research institution, right? Right, they need to in turn come up, right, under one particular platform, and when they come along, right, they can accelerate the development and also obviously the distribution of these particular innovative solutions to the mass population, right? So this particular slide I came across this from I have taken this from a journal paper, and I really liked it. Why? Because this particular graph, this particular slide in turn shows the detection of other respiratory viruses in India right from 1964 to 2020. And I'll just want to what to say, go with a slideshow so that it will be clear for you. So now here in this case, you can see right from 1964, 1969 till 2020, and the number in bracket shows the number of publications what have taken place. And if at all you see the graph RSV, that is respiratory syncytial viruses, right? By the year 2020, there was a slight decrease, but yes, we need to little bit also think in the way like this is the year wherein we were where means the whole of the world was affected with the COVID-19, right? So there's a, but apart from this also there's a quite decrease over here we can see. So this can be in turn attributed to this be focusing initiatives which were taken up by the government of India in tackling pneumonia. And we do, right, government of India is doing exceptional work, wherein, right, so many initiatives government of India has come up with. So first one is nothing but the SARS program, right, the social awareness and action to neutralize pneumonia successfully. So this particular program, basically, in short, it was launched in 2019, and basically it aims to reduce this child mortality due to pneumonia to less than 3 per 1,000 live births, and also basically creating awareness. Next one is early detection, improving the early detection, and also ensuring that the particular treatment means the treatment is reached to the particular individuals who are affected with this particular pneumonia. And the other one is the universal immunization program, which basically includes vaccines against Haemophilus influenza type B, and also pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, which is basically we go with like PCV vaccines, and these are very critical in preventing pneumonia which are caused by bacterial infections. And the other one is the intensified mission Indradhanush, that is in the tag name, that is IMI. So this was launched in the way back in the year 2014, and basically its aim is to reach unvaccinated and undervaccinated children, basically by targeting the particular population wherein the accessibility for this particular vaccines, the medicines is in turn not there. The other one is the Poshan Abhiyan, National Nutrition Mission, launched in 2018, right, which focuses basically on improving what you can say it as a nutritional outcome basically for children, pregnant women, and also lactating mothers. The other one is National Health Mission NHM and Ayushman Bharat program, integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness program, and the other one is Anemia Mukt Bharat program. So these are the various initiatives, right, which basically highlight basically the government of India's, you can say it as the multifaceted approach in tackling pneumonia through improved infrastructure, basically the healthcare infrastructure, preventive vaccination, you can say. The other one is the nutritional support, and also community health education. The ultimate aim is nothing but to reduce pneumonia related mortality across the country. Now coming to this our call basically to action for a pneumonia free future is to address the underlying risk factors what we have discussed. Next one is the expand the vaccine access, strengthen primary health infrastructure, empowering community health workers, right? They do play a very, very important role. Next one is promote awareness and education, right? And foster global partnership for innovation. So I just close by just telling that together we can make pneumonia a preventable and a treatable disease, leveraging our basically the collective resources and knowledge to create a healthier and pneumonia free world. Actually, I just want to even just cite my own example. uh, During my childhood, I was also affected by pneumonia, but through effective vaccination, effective medication, I could come through. I came along through. So I am a citing example. I want to cite myself as an example, right? Why? Because with proper care, with proper vaccination, with proper guidance, right, with proper orientation, right, we can make it preventable. And thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for enlightening all us for on the day of World Pneumonia Day, and also telling us about the initiative that is being taken by the government of India, and also sowing the seed within us by telling about the basic things which we need to focus, that we can eradicate the same. And thank you for sharing your personal experience also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
So good
Thank you.
evening, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. So good evening, everyone. Myself, Kanvi, Assistant Director, Global Center for Sustainable Agriculture and Food Security, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, and I'm also an organizing committee member of this respective event. Now, I would like to welcome and introduce you all to the distinguished guest for the occasion, Professor Dr. Ratno Kuwari, ma'am. She is a Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, Ujjana University, Indonesia. She has completed her bachelor's degree in biology department, and she has completed her master's degree in biology and environment sciences from a university in Western Australia, with a thesis entitled as The Effect of Increasing pH on Growth and Survival of Cynorhizobium WSM419 in Acid Soil. She has completed her doctorate education at Faculty of Agriculture, Ujjana University, Indonesia in the year 2013, and her thesis was entitled as Utilization of Streptomyces thermocarboxidus to control the cause of leaf blight on aloe vera in Bali. During her PhD, she has also participated in a sandwich-like program in University of Japan for 3 months, where she has carried out the part of her research for carrying out the SEM programming. She has been inaugurated as professor in the field of microbiology in the year 2021. She is actively involved in writing books and publications in reputed journals of international interest. She's also an active national and international seminar speaker. Currently, she is actively involved in exploring Streptomyces bacteria in some forests in Java and Bali in order to find new novel antibiotics. Now, I would like to welcome ma'am on the stage to share her views on the same. Ma'am, the stage is all yours.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the committee to invited me as a distinguished speaker, and also for Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, Global Center for Youth Development, joined with Global Center for Public Health Care and Management, Saint Xavier College, Ranchi, and also for Professor E.M. Deshmukh as a president of Microbiology Society of India. Today, I would like to share my research. Please share my PowerPoint, Ilham. And also in slideshow, please. Okay. And the title of my research, I will The potency of filtered antibiotic and butanol from Streptomyces dorsoisi on white ratus norvegicus, which is infected with multi-drug resistant Acinetobacter baumannii, and also analysis in silico. This bacteria can cause pneumonitis. One of the bacteria can cause pneumonia. That's the related with today is World Pneumonia Day. Next, please. I told you I share about the Bali. Bali is pictures island province of Indonesia is renowned worldwide for its captivating blend of natural beauty, uh, culture, and spiritual heritage. Next. This is Udayana University. Udayana University has 13 faculties and are defined by more specific scopes consisting of 58 diploma and undergraduate study program, 43 master and specialist study program, and 11 doctoral study program. These 112 programs are supported by various education services, centers, and equipped with high quality facilities and academic infrastructure. Next. I'll tell you a little bit about Udayana University. This is Udayana University with 13 faculties. I don't know why it's not work about the sound. Please come to Bali and let's talk about my research. This is the bacteria of Acinetobacter baumannii. This bacteria is multi-drug resistant Acinetobacter baumannii. Is a multi-antibiotic resistant bacteria such as ampicillin, cephradizim, metronidazole, levofloxacin, amikacin, and trimethoprim, sulfamethoxazole. And these bacteria have the ability to survive in extreme environment. Hence, it can cause some of infection. This resistance of Acinetobacter baumannii bacteria are known to have broad clinical spectrum of disease, including pneumonia. Next. Some antibiotics, such as streptomycin, kanamycin, and tetracycline, are produced by the genus of Streptomyces. The potential of streptomyces is currently being maximized in the pharmaceutical and drug industry, considering that more and more bacteria are resistant to antibiotics due to improper use. Monensin, as example, are produced by Streptomyces cinnamomensis, and it has ability to combat some bacteria, both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. With increasing bacteria resistance to various antibiotics, it is necessary to find new antibiotics for treatment disease. In silico analysis is gather and use information, systematic chemistry, and application of information to predict the behavior of compound unknown. In this study, the bioactive compound from the N-butanol filtrate of Streptomyces dorsoisi will be determined by GCMS, and interaction of chemical compound between Streptomyces dorsoisi with baumannii will be analyzed by silico analysis, and to find appropriate doses of antibiotics used in the mice infected with MDR Acinetobacter baumannii, toxicity liver organ, and histopathology of treated white mice. Next. Before I talk about the Streptomyces dorsoisi, as you know, Streptomyces is a gram-positive bacteria. This has aerial HIFA. That means this a little bit different with the bacteria. This because this bacteria has mycelia. But if we look from the slide, but uh, this bacteria is the nucleus is no membrane there, so is classified by bacteria gram positive. Next. Uh, this shows about the inhibition bacteria from Streptomyces, five Streptomyces, which is isolated from the rhizosphere of Zingiberaceae. Streptomyces KCM2 is the highest uh, inhibitory. So I will continue with another research. For the species Streptomyces species KCM2, I continue to know the identifier of the Streptomyces. So I did amplification references of KCM2 genome identification using the PCR method with primers 63F and 130F forward, produce a DNA fragment measuring around 1,300 BP. We can look from the slide that the Streptomyces KCM2 or species 2 is has a similarity. Next, please, with the Streptomyces VGE with 97%. Next. This is a morphological of the Streptomyces VGE, the colony and the microscopic of the Streptomyces VGE. Next. Preparation of Streptomyces filtrate. Streptomyces I grow on the yeast malt agar or ESP2, and then take 5 colony.
Ma'am, your PPT is not visible.
Not visible. Okay.
Yes. Actually, the PPT is visible. Kindly refresh yourself, the candidate, and you can rejoin, and then I guess you will be, the glitch is on your side. Ma'am, you can proceed for the same. It is visible.
Visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I continue?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. This preparation of Streptomyces filtrate, I grew the Streptomyces in the yeast malt agar and take 5 colony with diameter of 5 millimeter and then put in on the yeast malt broth and sugar for 40 days and then isolate it, filtrate, and I get the filtrate in N-butanol. N-butanol. Next. This is the procedure to make a filtrate of N-butanol extract of antibiotic. This the blue one is the antibiotic and in N-butanol, and then after that I evaporated the filtrate of the N-butanol to become more suspended solution. Next. Then analysis silico the receptor protein structure of actino to obtain from PDB with actino ID, PDB ID 4G00, DOE 10001. And then if you want to know a little bit detail about analysis in silico, you can ask me privately. Next. And then purification of active compound of Streptomyces VGE. The purification of active compound were separated by thin layer chromatography or TLC method. Then the extract was put on TLC plate, silica gel, and then developed with N mixture of chloroform, ethyl acetic acid, and not visualized under UV light. And then for GCMS analysis, just make the filtrate. I took the spot of the filtrate and then push in into the GCMS equipment. Next. Preparation of antibiotic doses. The antibiotic doses used were 4%, 5%, 6%, and 7%. Negative control were given no pathogens or antibiotics. Negative control were given the antibiotic ciprofloxacin at 1.3 milligram per 20 gram red body weight. And then calculation of the dose of the antibiotic ciprofloxacin is as follows. You can read into the slide. Next. Toxicity test on liver. Toxicity test on liver and kidney white rats were carried out by providing a 30 male rat that had been acclimated weighing about 30 gram. Antibiotic dosage treatment as shows about 7%, 6%, 5%, 4%, and the control without treatment and positive control using ciprofloxacin antibiotic. And then each treatment will repeat 5 times to obtain a total sample of 30 white rats. A total of 20 mice were given 1 milliliter of filtrate with different concentration every day for 5 days by giving orally. Whereas the next 5 mice were only given aquades and 5 mice were given ciprofloxacin antibiotics at the same time. After the end of the study, the rat was anesthesied with ether. Red blood collection is done through the eyes with a capillary pipette and collected in a test tube, then placed in room temperature. In a sloping position, the frozen blood is then centrifuged at 3000 RPM for 20 minutes, and the serum separated and then analyzed for SGOT level and SGPT can be determined using a medical system analyzer with a fluoride even kinetic reagent and total reagent. Calculation of the total bacteria from serum is done by dilution method. This is the dose of the antibiotic, and then the process take the blood from the capillary of the blood from the eyes of the rats. Next. Then histopathology on the liver. The differences in the liver cell from rats used as a control with treated mice can be seen by making a heart inclusion. Rats that have been anesthetized and their blood has been taken then diseases and their organ take it. Then next. This is the minimum inhibitory concentration of the filtrate of antibiotic. Why I use this inhibition shows about 2 to 2%, but no 2%, 4%, 4%. But I use the dose 4, 5, 6, 7. That I want to know which one better. Even the minimum inhibition concentration is on the 4%. Next. The result of activity test of Streptomyces cerevisiae filtrate against MDR Acinetobacter baumannii show that the filtrate that was capable of inhibiting was the filtrate in the N-butanol passer with inhibitory diameter is 223.44 millimeter, while the water phase is did not produce inhibitory minimum resistant filtered MDRR growth. Baumani was 4%. Next. This is the result of in a GCMS method. It found that 10 chemical compounds were obtained. For the 10 chemical compounds, it's only 7. Next. Only 7 that act as antimicrobial. Then, next. From the 7 chemical compound that act as antimicrobial, there's only 5 that can integrate interaction between receptor and ligand through docking with the Hex8 software, and the result of interaction visualization with Discovery Studio. There are several variations on the chemical bonds of each ligand. Ligand interact with the receptor on certain amino acid residues through certain chemical bonds, especially van der Waals bond. The interaction between the receptor from Acinetobacter baumannii and the active compound ligand from Streptomyces cerevisiae. That's only 5 that can interact with the ligand and receptor. Next. And this is the ligand and receptor interaction between Acinetobacter baumannii and Streptomyces cerevisiae. This visualization by the program as an analysis in silico. Next. And then the percentage of life rate after being given antibiotic of the treatment for 5 days after infection with A. baumannii pathogen, it shows that the control is only not only on 1 death. That's mean percentage of life is 80. That the others doses filtered 4%, 3 mice death. That's 40% life, and the others is 100% life. And then for the total number of Acinetobacter baumannii bacteria in the blood after treatment, it shows that from the control that shows about the total number of bacteria is 340 colony forming unit per milliliter, and the control using ciprofloxacin at 0, and doses filtered 4% is 240, and dose filtrate 5% 160, and dose filtrate 6% 120, and dose filtrate 7% is 0. That means no bacteria again in the blood. Next. SGOT, SGPT analysis. Analysis of SGOT and SGPT was carried in the regional laboratory of Bali province. The results shows that all antibiotic doses had no effect on the liver function. The normal concentration of SGOT in the rats was 76 till 208 unit per liter, while AGPT range between 30 till 340 unit per liter. That means no effect the antibiotic. And then yes, next. This is the histopathology of the rat liver. Positive control, that's a no effect. Negative, and then control also negative, and 7% of dose of antibiotic are also negative, but the other concentration is so hydrophilic degenerative. That's mean there's a little bit effect on the liver, but after the antibiotic stop, the liver become normal again. That means that very interesting for me. Yeah. That's why like that. So I want to continue the other research. Next. So as a conclusion, the best dose of antibiotic is 7% because no effect on liver function and zero bacteria in the white rat's blood. The interaction between the receptor from Acinobaumani and the active compound ligand from those WGE for 5 compound. And then this is very important that practically the result of this research can be used as a reference for developing treatment strategies using new antibiotics produced by Streptomyces WGE to kill disease caused by Acinetobacter baumannii, that one of the bacteria that can cause pneumonia. Next. Next, please. This is our research team, Dr. Ida Bagus Gede Darmayasa, and then Dr. Ana Agung Sagung Alit Sukmanisi. Both of them is in help of me to do the research, and also 5 of my students. Thank you very much for inviting me the opportunity. Good night.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this incredibly insightful and informative lecture. Good evening, one and all present here. My name is Riya Sharma, one of the organizing committee member. It's a pleasure to have you all join us today for this session. Now I'd like to take a moment to welcome our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Anjana Mahajan Singh, ma'am, former head, Central Department of Microbiology, Tribhuvan University, Kirtipur, Nepal. Dr. Anjana ma'am has completed her bachelor's in biology, master's in microbiology from Tribhuvan University, Kathmandu, Nepal, and PhD in microbiology from School of Life Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and postdoctoral from University of Virginia, USA. Dr. Anjana ma'am expertises in water and food microbiology, immunology and infectious diseases, plant health, interest women in STEM microbiology. She has a total of 148 publications nationally and internationally. She also has been awarded Lifetime Achievement Award, Tribhuvan University in 2021. So let's move further and give a big virtual round of applause to welcome Dr. Anjana ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, St. Xavier's College and others, including Microbiologists Society India, for giving me the opportunity on this auspicious occasion of World Pneumonia Day. And I would also like to mention Professor M. Deshmukh for giving me an opportunity to be introduced to you all. And we know that November 12th is the World Pneumonia Day. And the theme for this 2024 is International Symposium on Championing the Fight to Stop Pneumonia. So before starting, I just wanted to flow a kind of a light here, is that a voice of Jyoti Shiva Mahamanapita, that is the great Chiron, or the Chiron, you can say, which has been also predicted by the Nostradamus prediction that in this world about 46 years ago, a great human will be born in the middle of the uh, Asia that has been known as Mahamana Pita, who lives in Koshi River. And he has also given prediction that if the humans on Earth still follow the orthodox beliefs, then there will be an asteroid hit, increase of diseases like endemic, pandemic, epidemic, etc., cholera, flooding, landslide, earthquake, religious conflict, political and ethnic conflicts, and so. So with this, I thought it was a little bit related, so I just wanted to put in forward with this. With this, I would like to continue with the theme World Pneumonia Day 2024, and we previous um, speakers has also mentioned that this year's theme is Every Breath Counts, Stop Pneumonia in its Tracks. So with this, I would like to continue. As we all know that pneumonia is one of the leading death-causing disease worldwide. And sometimes it's so serious that this bacteria, most of the time, the Streptococcus pneumoniae and Klebsiella pneumoniae, etc., these bacteria, it will cause this disease and include sepsis along with the meningitis as well. So there are three main phrases that is to be known or should be remembered on the World Pneumonia Day is that anyone can get pneumonia. Mostly, we all know that children who are less than 5 years old or those people who are 65 years elder people more than that, they are more prone to it due to the immunological aspects. So but however, there are some of the people who are also in different ages are at higher risk, and pneumonia can be serious. So there are some vaccines also developed to prevent pneumonia and that cause pneumonial diseases. So mostly these vaccines have been uh, preferred to given to the young children and older adults, and of course those who are immunocompromised people also. And specifically when pneumonia is serious, it can be deadly and life-threatening as well. And besides that, sometimes when people are getting this annual flu vaccine or even nowadays COVID-19 vaccine, that the pneumococcal vaccine is also to be taken with along. And my students in the master's level, they have done a little bit of work on this Klebsiella pneumoniae. So I would like to put forward on this. And mostly we all know that Klebsiella pneumoniae, this is the microorganism which is gram negative, and it is a family of Enterobacteriaceae. And this can also consider as a major etiological agent of numerous community-acquired and nosocomial infections. One of the disease is pneumonia, whereas others like UTI, bloodstream infections, invasive infections, acute cholangitis, etc., can be caused with this organism. And obviously, there are increasing use of the antibiotics has been raised in this world. So antibiotic resistance Klebsiella pneumoniae, and this is also a hypervirulent Klebsiella pneumoniae strain, which has emerged separately across the world. And biofilm formation renders bacterial colonies that which also the antibiotic exchange within our body when taken.
Sorry, ma'am, I'm interrupting you. Ma'am, your slide is stuck on the first only. Can you please look
Oh,
into it?
really?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, but mine is moving, right?
Ma'am, you can reshare your slide once. It is stuck on the
Okay,
first.
I will do it.
Yes,
Right,
ma'am. Thank you,
right.
ma'am.
I'll try to do. Or else I'll just put, can you see it right now?
Ma'am, no, the screen is not visible.
Okay. What I will do is that instead of putting in the slideshow, I'll just directly show, because right now I don't have power in my home. I'm sorry. Because of that,
Sure,
I think
ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
yes. I think that is causing the problem. Can you see right now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible and it is moving also.
Yes, what I will do is that I think I will stop slide share.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So I was talking about the carbapenemase enzyme that is also, which can be present in the Klebsiella pneumoniae. So these are the enzymes which are capable of cleaving amide bond of most of the beta-lactam rings in the antibiotics. So because of this, the antibiotics which has been taken for the disease does not work. So there are class A carbapenemase group, which includes member of other kinds of families also, but I will be focusing on the KPC carbapenemases, which are the most prevalently found on plasmids in Klebsiella pneumoniae. So this Klebsiella pneumoniae family has the greatest potential for spread of disease due to the location of the plasmids, because this carbapenemase enzyme, which is generally transferred, is from the plasmids in the Klebsiella pneumoniae or bacteria. And because of this, it becomes worrisome, and treatment of infections caused by these organisms is extremely difficult to treat. Again, it is stuck. I don't know what's wrong. Can you see? No, it's not moving.
Yes, ma'am. It's not moving.
There's some problem I'm facing. I don't know why. The slide, it's not moving at all. It's stuck.
Okay, ma'am. It's okay. Ma'am, you can proceed with the lecture. You can share your PPT afterwards if the volunteers are interested in having the PPT, if it is feasible for your end also.
From my end, I can see, but the problem is it seems that it's not moving at your end, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can proceed with the lecture. Then later, if volunteers are asking for the presentation, you can share with us and we will
Sure,
be
sure,
sharing
ma'am.
with them.
Sure,
Yes, ma'am.
sure,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I'll do that. It's so, I don't know, something is wrong. Okay, anyway. So in this carbapenemase Klebsiella pneumoniae, I'll be talking about the only one gene, that is BLA-KPC. So this BLA-KPC gene, it possesses different variants, that is KPC2 up to KPC15. And these are sporadically found in other species, such as non-fermenting bacteria also. And commonly, these have been produced in Klebsiella pneumoniae, which carry black KPC gene in hospitals, which is a very problematic that has been happening in the hospitals. And this KPZ variant gene, it evolves into a multi-drug resistant bacteria also. So this will give rise this Klebsiella pneumoniae as a multi-drug resistance bacteria. So, so because of this dissemination of Klebsiella pneumoniae carbapenemase bacteria around the world, it highlights the role of black KPC gene in the spread of antimicrobial resistance. And so we have gone for the objectives, like general objective we were taking as to detect black KPC gene in carbapenem resistance Klebsiella pneumoniae, which has been isolated from different clinical samples in a tertiary care hospital. And these samples were, some of them were blood, and some of them were urine, and some sputum, and so on. And some of them were ET tube samples itself. So, and according to this, the specific objectives we were targeting for to isolate and identify the Klebsiella pneumoniae samples from the clinical samples itself. And second one is to perform biofilm screening test of isolated Klebsiella pneumoniae from different clinical samples. And again, to perform AST, that is antimicrobial sensitivity test that we are performing against the Klebsiella pneumoniae isolates, and to determine black KPC gene from carbapenem resistance Klebsiella pneumoniae through PCR method. And the method that we followed it was a cross-sectional prospective study. and the samples were collected from the tertiary care hospitals for 6 months. And the study populations we had targeted for outpatients as well as inpatients, patients who has visited the pathology department with the request form for the culture of various clinical specimens. And sample size was total of about 1118, that is 111 and 8. And inclusion and exclusion criteria, when we talk, is for the inclusion criteria, specimens of patients suspected with infections associated with E. coli and Klebsiella pneumoniae was targeted for. And in the case of exclusion criteria, clinical specimens with missing informations were excluded. And again, in the inclusion criteria, both inpatient and outpatients patients were taken, as I have already mentioned, and both male and female patients belonging to all the ages. And in exclusion criteria, specimens with suspected infections associated with pathogens other than Klebsiella pneumoniae were excluded, and samples with visible signs of contamination and not labeled with demographic informations of the patients were excluded. So actually, I had given the flow chart, but unfortunately, I'm not able to show you. And the primers that has been used for the black APC gene were purchased, and then it was taken from a previous journal that has been already published. So we have followed the same sequence of the primers, forward and reverse primers. And composition of the reaction mixtures was also performed according to the paper that has been taken, we have taken. And the general criteria for the PCR specification for the gene detections were like denaturation was initial denaturation was about 95 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. And then denaturation was done at 94 degrees Celsius for 30 seconds. Annealing was about 58 degrees Celsius for 90 seconds. And then extension was 72 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Again, terminal extension was again done for the 72 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes for 32 cycles. And according to this, we got the result is that, however, we got also growth positive bacteria, but we excluded in this study. And growth negative samples were also taken, gram-negative samples were also taken for other organisms, E. coli and Klebsiella. But here I'm only talking for the Klebsiella pneumoniae only, which is about 31.03% present in the samples. And distribution of organisms on the basis of sample types were various types, as I have already mentioned, like pus, blood, urine, sputum, ET tubes, body fluids, tissues, and others were also taken. But out of this, since I'm talking about pneumonia here, I focused on the sputum samples, where 22.2% of the Klebsiella pneumoniae was isolated from the patients. So when it was being distributed according to the way,
Ma'am, I guess there's some issue with your network. Can you please check that?
Actually, I guess there's a power cut. So I request everyone to kindly patient, and will contact ma'am for resuming the same. Nikita, can you call ma'am and ask about the glitch at her end?
I will
Personally call
try.
me.
I will surely try. Just
Okay, sure. Uh, Till then, I would like to inform you all that the registered participants will be getting the certificates, and 75% attendance is compulsory for getting the certification of participation. And we will be sending you it by mail. So kindly be patient because there are more candidates. So we will take time for issuing it. Thank you, everyone.
Kindly be patient for a minute. We are contacting ma'am.
Till then, if anybody has any questions from Rachna ma'am, can proceed. If ma'am is available for answering, she's in the meeting. Since some candidates were raising their hands, I guess they have question. So then they can write their question in the chat box itself.
I just had a word with ma'am. Ma'am is trying to join in some time when the power cut just resumes. So I would request volunteers to kindly proceed with the event.
Okay, so Shobnal, you can proceed with the next speaker, I guess.
Yeah, thank you, Kanvi, for passing the baton. I would like to thank Anjana ma'am for those insightful words. And as we continue with our session, it's my pleasure to introduce one of our resource persons of this symposium, who brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise on today's topic. Myself, Subramanian, member of Organizing Committee of JFSRD, and I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Sridevi Kalyan, an associate professor in the Department of Mathematics and a distinguished research supervisor in the Faculty of Science and Technology at Sharan Basava University, Kalaburagi, where she has been teaching and mentoring students for over 11 years. She completed her master's degree in mathematics with high distinction, and she holds a PhD in fluid mechanics from Gulbarga University, where she conducted extensive research on the effect of chemical reaction on mixed convective multi-fluid flow. She has made significant contributions in the fluid fields of fluid mechanics, multi-fluid flow, and magnetohydrodynamics, with a special focus on applications involving chemical reactions and micropolar fluids. She has guided three doctoral students to successful PhD completion, with several others currently pursuing advanced research under her supervision. Her scholarly work includes 26 research publications in several national and international journals till now, covering a wide array of topics from chemical reaction effects in multi-fluid flow to advanced numerical methods. Throughout her career, Dr. Kalyan has earned numerous accolades, including the Kalika Snehi Shikshaka Award in 2023 and first prize for her oral presentation at the recent International Conference on Recent Trends in Applied and Computational Mathematics at Reva University. She has also been awarded for her outstanding paper presentations at various national and international conferences, affirming her impact in the field. In addition to her academic pursuits, Dr. Kalyan has authored two books on mathematical applications, including a comprehensive guide on mathematical formulas from KG to postgraduate level. She actively participates in academic and professional committees, including roles as a reviewer for international journals like Waves in Random and Complex Media and Physics of Fluid, and recently became member of All India Council for Technical Skill Development. Dr. Kallan's dedication to knowledge sharing and mentorship is evident through her involvement as a resource person and guest lecturer in various educational forums where she has delivered insightful talks on applied mathematics and fluid dynamics. Thank you, Dr. Kallan, for joining us today. Without further delay, I would like to invite you to begin your presentation and share your insights on your chosen topic. We look forward to your valuable contributions. Over to you, ma'am.
Is Sridevi ma'am in the meeting?
Uh, I can't see her name. I guess might be she has entered with another name. Shovril, kindly confirm it, please. Kindly be patient. We are content. There's some technical issue with the speaker, so she's trying to connect with us. Yes, we are connect. There's some technical issue with the speakers. They are trying to connect us. Kindly be patient. Currently, nobody is presenting. Ajay and Madhuri, please be patient.
I just had a
Uh,
word with Sridevi ma'am. Ma'am is just about to join. I would like to request everybody just for a minute.
okay, Ipshita, you can proceed. Since Girish sir is available, kindly proceed for the same.
Sure, Kanvili.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ipshita Kormukar, one of the organizing committee members of GFSRT. Now, I would like to introduce our resource person too, Dr. Kukreja Girish sir. Dr. Girish Kukreja sir, former head of Department of Microbiology at New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. He has completed his MSc Microbiology, SET, NET, CSIR, JRF in Life Sciences. He has published 6 textbooks for microbiology and 7 research papers in national and international journals. He has guided multiple projects for MSc students and for Avishkar. He has been invited as guest speaker on various topics at various colleges in Ahmednagar, Nasik, Mumbai, etc. in microbiology, genetics, metabolism, enzymology, etc. He has his own YouTube channel featuring various scientific, spiritual, social issues. He is an active member of Hygiene First, an organization which works for the hygiene of Ahmednagar city and has delivered lectures in various schools for the awareness of the same. He has also been recently appointed as co-coordinator for Nagar district for Microbiologist Society India and BOS member for BSc Microbiology at SIES College, Sion, Mumbai. His keen interest is to motivate the students and uplift them from the various daily life challenges and help them to achieve their goals and lead a happy life. He devotes much of his time in counseling the students and mentoring them. With such a profound experience and knowledge, we are honored to welcome Dr. Girish Kukreja sir in today's event. Over to you, sir.
Uh, Thank you so much, Ipshita, for this such a kind introduction. I just hope that I am audible and visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just let me check that whether I can share the screen
Niti
and
ma'am, I'm connected. I'm Anjana Singh.
Sure, ma'am. I would like to request you to kindly wait and let Girish sir have his speech, then we can surely complete yours.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So please proceed.
okay, sure. Just give me a moment. Uh, yes, just a moment. Yeah. Actually, since I'm on my mobile, I really don't know whether the screen is visible. I would just like to know that whether the screen is visible and the slides are changing.
Yes, sir, it
Yes,
is
sir.
visible
Yes.
and the slides are changing. You can start, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Uh, so, first of all, I'm really grateful for this organization for giving me this golden opportunity to be with you all today on this World Pneumonia Day. I won't be taking much of the time. We had so much of expertise around, and we learned so much about pneumonia, the different isolates, and how we are actually fighting this dreaded disease. So, what I thought is not going much into the research. I would be for next 20 minutes talking about only the very basic things about pneumonia. So, talking about pneumonia. So, therefore, the title of the talk also, which I gave today, is knowing pneumonia. So, let us know exactly what it is and how it actually came down. So, as we know, the title for today is the every breath counts. So we really need to be worried about our breaths because that is the only thing because which we are living. I remember an anecdote when I used to be in my school days. Our teacher used to say, when you breathe, you respire, and if you don't breathe, you expire. So the simple act of breathing, see, we are totally unaware that we are breathing and therefore we are living. It only was more evident in COVID times where we could find people, they were finding difficult to breathe actually. So, pneumonia, like today on this World Pneumonia Day, a global event which is being observed all around the globe. And we all today as GSRD, we are conducting this seminar to make people aware of this particular dreaded disease. Probably we are not aware of how dreaded this disease is. Like as we mentioned in the outset that 60% of your childhood pneumonia deaths which are there, unfortunately they are concentrated in the handful of the countries, and again unfortunately it is India which is one of these particular countries. There are many myths related to pneumonia, like some people say that cannot be cured. We even hear people which are dying of pneumonia, but this we know that is a most of the times when it is bacterial pneumonia, it can be easily cured with medications, right? People also think that it affects only elderly people, but then again, it's a myth. We know that it can affect anyone at any time, and it's not always necessary that if you are suffering from pneumonia, you'd be hospitalized. Maybe with COVID also, we had the same thing coming up. Like people were frightened that what will happen, and therefore like if someone says that you are suffering from COVID, they were first of all not ready to accept that they are suffering from COVID because they thought that they will be hospitalized and then there will be more issues. So pneumonia also, it's like when we hear people dying of pneumonia, we think that, oh my god, if I get diagnosed with pneumonia, I'll be hospitalized. So you don't take medications at the proper time. If it is diagnosed at a proper time, you can just take proper medications at home itself and it can be cured. So pneumonia is very much common than we all think. The slides are too heavy and I'm going to be too simple. The number of slides is too much, so I'm going to be a bit fast. Anyways, we are not having an MCQ exam after this. Only if we could appreciate that how prevalent this pneumonia is and then what can be done to do it, and we are more aware about the disease and so that we can spread the word. This is what actually these days are meant for. So uh, you can like have vaccines and you can get your chances reduced, right? As I told you, anyone can get pneumonia, and you don't have one cause for pneumonia. That is what the major thing with pneumonia is. Like for a particular disease, like you have one causative organism, but for pneumonia, like there are around 30 different causes. Oh my god, now fighting one enemy is like one thing, and then fighting with 30 different enemies at a time, oh my god, a very really this can be dangerous. And yes, it is deadly. And as like in the starting some sessions where the guests and all were discussing about this, and the what you call as unfortunately, like it is easy to be what you call as prevented, but still we are struggling with this particular disease. That is more what you call as worrying for us. So let us spread the word. So it is very common, as I told, approximately 450 million people around the year, they are being suffering from this pneumonia. In 2008, around 156 million children, and out of that 151 million in the developing countries and only 5 million in the developed worlds. And in 2010, it was around 1.3 million deaths, like which was around 18% of all the deaths which are taking place, and 95% of which it occurred in developing countries. And many of these, they occur in newborn. So this gives it a more what you call as an emotional touch. Like we really need to care about the two generations, the generation which is like the future generation, our children, and the older generations which have a lot of experiences, and these two are the most vulnerable people to this pneumonia. It is a disease entity which we don't know today. We know it since ancient times. You can find it in Greek, in Roman, and Arabic writings. We have mention of this pneumonia. Maybe we came to know about this Streptococcus pneumoniae roughly around 120 years ago. But then, yes, we knew about this long back. Even Hippocrates, in his different explanations, he has described pneumonia, and he has also mentioned that this was named by the ancients. Maimonides, right? He has also talked about pneumonia, and then like talking about the more scientific kind of a community where we entered. It was Edwin Klebs who, for the first time, he observed the bacteria in the airways of the person who have died of this pneumonia. Jacquard in 1887, he told that there could be opportunistic bacteria in the lungs. Initially, like these two common agents, which we generally say, there are 30 different what you call as dreaded pathogens which are actually causing pneumonia. But then it was Streptococcus pneumoniae and Klebsiella pneumoniae, which was discovered by Carl Friedlander and Albert Franklin in 1882 and 1884 respectively. And then gram staining later in around 1884, we came to know that it was caused by a gram positive, what you call as organism. So this is how our knowledge of pneumonia, like step by step. Like I generally believe that whenever we are talking about something, we should take something from the past, then talk about the present, and then we can have a roadmap for the future. So we used to learn that seek hum beete yugo se naye yug ka kare swagat. So we should also know that how these people actually discovered this bacterium, and we could actually fight this. So more than 10 million cases found per year in India itself. This is really a dreaded disease. Our favorite microbiologist, Louis Pasteur, he is also credited for identifying this bacteria, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae, along with George Sternberg. Independently, they identified this lancelet-shaped bacteria in your saliva. And these oval-shaped bacteria or lancelet-shaped bacteria could be what you call as isolated and studied, and this is how we actually learned about it. You remember we had that experiment. If any one or two of the participants could unmute themselves and could revise that, we had an experiment of Frederick Griffith, you remember, where we discovered the phenomenon of transformation. You see, there were two
Yes, sir.
strains of
Yes, sir, we
bacteria.
do.
Can you tell me those two strains of bacteria?
So it was Streptococcus pneumoniae.
Yes, but the two strains, if you could tell which were the two strains.
So we used to learn as S strain and R strain.
Yes, very good. So it was the S strain and the R strain of bacteria, which actually, the smooth strain and the rough strain. So it was this smooth and the rough strain which actually is responsible for pathogenicity. We know that the smooth strain had that encapsulated thing. So that particular thing, like studied by Hindelberg and Avery in 1923, it actually helped us in understanding the immunology behind this. So it is killing more people than any other infection. Around 6,71,928 children being killed, which are less than 5 years. So this is how it went. It was Sir William Osler, who is known as the father of modern medicine. He was appreciated that the death and disability which was caused by pneumonia was the captain of the men of the death. In 1918, like tuberculosis as one of the leading causes took over it, but then John Bunyan, he coined it as consumption. Osler, he actually also talked about pneumonia as the what you call as what they have called the old man's friend. Because like as I told, that when the immune system get compromised at the later stages, having a more serious disease which will take a more longer time to kill, like unfortunately, like paradoxically, like this pneumonia was a old man's friend, because it was comparatively more what you call as common in these old people, and caused death with less pain than some other more chronic things which will cause more pain and more discomfort during the death. So he described them as the old man's friend. So because the death was quick and painless, like when there were more other ways to die. Oh my God. We discovered penicillin. You all know that who discovered penicillin. Can any one of the audience tell me who discovered penicillin?
Sir Alexander Fleming.
Yes, it was Alexander Fleming who discovered this penicillin, and the entire way we could handle these diseases, it changed, right? So, vaccination, like penicillin, when it was discovered and the era of antibiotic began, we could treat the disease. And yes, discovery of vaccine was what you call as one thing which helped us to prevent the particular disease. So, many pneumonia causing pathogens today, matlab, we see that they come from hospital settings, but yes, today also the community acquired pneumonia which is there, that is the major cause which is there. Vaccines also, like the first vaccine which came in was in 1977, which was a pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine, the PPV. But then there were only limited streptococcal serotypes which could be incorporated in this PPV vaccine. And therefore, in 2000, a second vaccine came, which was PCV, the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, where many strains could be merged together. And uh, with the Sustainable Development and World Health Organization Millennium Development Goals, in alignment with that, we are trying to reduce the mortality by using these particular vaccines. I told one of the most commonest form of pneumonia which is there is your community acquired pneumonia, like where you suffer from pneumonia and from the infections which you are get from the community, not from a hospital or from a healthcare professional. So still today the most common cause of pneumonia which remains is your community acquired pneumonia. Pneumonia, as I told, like it is a condition where there is an inflammation of lungs, and like basically you have fluid filled in your lungs. So like your lungs, they are made of around millions of alveoli. Can anyone like put light on how many alveoli we have? And like anyone knows any idea? I don't know. Yes. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
you're audible.
Huh. So, so anyone can put some light, like then can minimize this video and Google it and tell me that how many alveoli we have, our lungs have. We should be knowing about our body, though we are microbiologists and microbes don't have lungs, but then they enter into our lungs. We need to be very careful. Your bacteria, your viruses, your fungi, your mycobacteria, your parasites, all are entering your lungs. You know how many alveoli we have in the both lungs together? Anyone can shed a light on it, please?
400 million alveoli
Ye-
per lung, sir.
Yeah, so you can say around 600 to 700. Like if she says 400 million, so it's around 800 million. Oh my God. So many alveoli, and that alveoli forms a major structure for exchange of these particular gases, right? And is the watery fluid which accumulates in these particular alveoli, which is the major thing which happens in pneumonia, and that hinders with your exchange of what you call as gases, and then you have those problem with breathing and like when it spreads to other parts. So pneumonia can develop when your immune system attacks an infection in small sacs of your lungs, and many bacteria and viruses they can cause. Matlab, I told, like if you are suffering from all these other diseases, like they also what you call as can lead to pneumonia. So if you're suffering from common cold, if you're suffering from SARS, from flu, from legionnaires, from mycoplasma pneumoniae or respiratory syncytial virus, any of these can ultimately result in what is called as pneumonia. So as I already told about the global burden and talked about this as the old man's friend. So if you're about 65 or if you're below 2, I'm sure there is no one below 2 year joined in the meeting. So, anyways, like as I told, like if you are having cystic fibrosis, asthma, emphysema, or sarcoidosis, or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, then yes, your chances of having pneumonia are high. So you have some neurological conditions like dementia, Parkinson's, or stroke. That also results in an aspiration pneumonia. If you're in hospital for a long time, if you smoke a lot, in pregnant women also the chances are high. And somehow if your immune system is compromised, like if you're on a chemotherapy or some organ transplantation, or you're suffering from HIV/AIDS or something like that. So that results in again increasing your chances for pneumonia. As I told, it could be caused by bacteria, a whole list there. It could be caused by fungi, a whole list there. The most common which they have mentioned is your pneumocystis jirovecii, and then you have viral pneumonia. Again, the list of the virus is too long, so it's all there for you all. So this is how, like, there are different pathogens. Your lungs are literally totally under attack. You have viruses attacking, you have bacteria attacking, you have fungi attacking. Though I'm a bit fast, but I hope that आपको समझ में आ रहा है, like what I'm trying to say at least.
Yes, we're getting.
Thank you so much. So because we need to cover so many things in one go. So a causative agent, like one of the major issues with this is again that almost in half of the cases, like even despite of careful testing, you'll find that you'll never find the causative agent. Like most patient, they will, like they have told, around 62% people, they don't have a detectable pathogen in their sample, and unexpectedly your respiratory viruses were detected more frequently than your bacteria. But then still, infections with bacteria are more common than with your fungi. So you can have a list of with percentages. I'm not going to go into this. And as ma'am also mentioned, and sir also mentioned in the beginning, that it's not only the problem with infection, but it's a problem of what is called as your drug resistance. So you have your drug resistant streptococcus DRSP, or MRSA, a very famous one, methicillin resistant staphylococcus aureus. These are creating more havoc. Like, so exposure to birds, like it will lead to chlamydia cetaceae. Your farm animals will lead to Coxiella burnetii. Aspiration with result in anaerobic organism. Your cystic fibrosis will result in infection with Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So basically, pneumonia is when water is filled in your lungs, in your alveoli, and that results in what is called as your pneumonia. So in adults, like, viruses will account for 1/3 of your total cases. So you have a list of these. So even, like as I told, if you are immunocompromised, if after an organ transplantation, if you are on some immunosuppressive drugs, your chance of acquiring this pneumonia will be high. Your SARS-CoV-2 infections, your infections with flu, or your hantaviruses or coronaviruses, all that results or increases your chance of having pneumonias, right? Basically, as we saw in the very first presentation, that we have lungs and there are mechanisms to protect our lungs from infections. So you have that mucociliary escalator, like where your mucus is being produced in the trachea, and cilia trying to put it like up and down, and like that it's trying to move it out there. So if you are smoking, or like if you are taking some chemicals, and somehow if you are having a viral infection and your mucous excretory system is not functioning properly, then your chances of having this bacterial infection grows very high. Fungal pneumonia is like uncommon, but then again, if you are immunocompromised, then yes, you are welcoming histoplasma, or you're welcoming blastomyces, you are welcoming pneumocystis, coccidiosis, and a number of these. So people with HIV or AIDS, like there you'll find that infection with this pneumocystis pneumonia is very common. Many parasites, though, in a very lesser version, we have like parasites also causing pneumonia, like toxoplasma, strongylosis, or ascaris, or plasmodium malaria, even the one which causes malaria. Ascaris also, we know that it finds its way to your lungs. So this is more common with the developed world, actually. Like the people who are moving around the world, they need to be very more careful about this particular pneumonia. So we have idiopathic pneumonia, like which are non-infectious. So as I told, like the aspirator pneumonia, we say, like when the contents of your stomach, they somehow like come up and they are entering into your lungs, and that results in what is called as your non-infectious kind of pneumonia. So generally, when it starts, it will start with a upper respiratory tract infection, and if it is due to some other conditions, it is referred to as pneumonitis. So when the lungs, they get inflamed, that is what is called as pneumonitis. You can clearly see, I hope you can see the two lungs there, not two lungs actually, two alveoli there, one which is normal and other which is suffering from pneumonia. You can see the alveoli are filled with the liquid, and because of this, you will find that the exchange of the gases, it becomes difficult. So I told, it could be bacterial, it could be viral, So once there is an infection, you'll find that these bacteria, they go into the spaces between the cells there, macrophages, neutrophils, all are brought there, and they are trying to inactivate those particular bacteria, and there they are releasing cytokines and then all that stuff, and that develops many what you call as liquid there. So it is the immune system actually, when it's trying to fight the disease, is actually causing us pneumonia. Community acquired pneumonia, as I told, is one of the most common cause of pneumonia. So the most common form, like where you are moving around, like by touching or by air droplets or by poor hygiene, sharing cups and utensils, where these pathogens are there. Another, you have hospital acquired pneumonia, where it may be associated with ventilators, or your healthcare associated pneumonia is also there. So the most common, I told, is your community acquired pneumonia. But then yes, you have hospital acquired pneumonia, and then yes, you also have ventilator acquired pneumonia. So if these particular things are not clean, or if they're having the pathogens on them, it can happen. And then the last one I told, the aspiration pneumonia, where the contents of your food, instead of going to your stomach, oh my god, it goes into your lungs, right? So there, like in case of these aspiration, you will find that the gastric contents and all, they can cause respiratory distress within an hour, and that can lead to what is called as your aspiration pneumonia. So but that's rare. But then still, if there are no control, 2.5 million people, they died of pneumonia in 2019. We really need to take care of this. And 33%, you see, of there were children which were below 5 years. So this is the leading cause of death till today. So we really need to take care of, as I told, the risk factors. Constant exposure to asbestos, to cigarette smoking, in developing nations, the poverty or the pollution, the addiction, the alcoholism, the smoking, the weakened immune systems, like these are the basic what you call as risk factors, which are causing pneumonia. You have four basic stages of pneumonia. Like as you can see, you have consolidation, then you have red hepatization, only two mentioned here. Maybe the next ones are in the next slide. You have gray hepatization, and then we have the resolution. So like many of the times it will take care of its on its own. So in congestion, like it becomes heavy and baggy. A lot of bacteria are coming there, and they are like surrounding there. In red hepatization, you have a lot of RBCs, neutrophils, fibrils there. So you have many erythrocytes, neutrophils, and all your epithelial cells desquamatized there, and that results in your red hepatization. The CRGR, the congestion, I told, the red hepatization, then gray hepatization, and then your resolution. So in gray ones, you will find after your red hepatization, the exudates and all, they accumulate, and leukocytes, they migrate to your congested alveoli. Now the RBCs are less and your WBCs have taken over, so it becomes gray. And then resolution, you will find that you have restoring of your pulmonary architecture. So the consolidated tissue re-aerates, and the fluid which is there, it causes sputum, and probably this sputum can be coughed up off. So this is how generally the pneumonia proceeds. Like with congestion, you can see the red hepatization, the gray hepatization, and the resolution. Can any one of the audience tell me what is the first stage of this pneumonia? All are sleeping.
So it might be the appearance of symptoms.
No. These four stages which I just discussed. So what is the first stage? I discussed the four stages, right? You remember? For revision, I'll just go here. These were the four stages, right? CRGR. Can you say what C stands for? Okay. Anyone could read that?
Sir, congestion.
Thank you so much. This only keeps me moving, that yes, you are with me. So there is congestion, then there is red hepatization, then there is gray hepatization, and then there is resolution. Yes. So common symptoms, like normally which you have, your fever, sweating, chills, a severe cough, shortening of breath, then your chest pain and loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting. Many of the times when we are learning with these diseases and these symptoms, I believe that students have all these when they are listening to my lectures. So I always tell them, don't worry, you're not suffering from these diseases. I have another particular disease here, which is called as Cochrane lecture phobia. So probably those are the symptoms of that. So here I told that the signs and symptoms, like they may be different in different people. So it may be coughing, as I told, your altered mental states, if you are getting irritated, if you are getting agitated, or you are suffering from pneumonia, not always. Then there is chest pain, then there is sweating, there are chills, the heartbeats they increase. You have a breathing problem, like you're not able to breathe, your CO2 concentrations are increasing, your respiratory rate, like in a children, it will may go sometimes around 50 to 60 times per minute. Anyone from the audience can tell, like a normal adult respires how many times per minute? Can any one of you please tell me? You can Google it there, or you can wait for a minute and count how many times you're respiring. Yes, please. How
So
many
it's
times do you...
12 to 20 breaths per
Yes, thank
minute.
you so much. Thank you so much. So it is 12 to 20.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I just had a glass of water. Thank you. So 12 to 16 times, and see in children, it may go to around 50 to 60 times when they are suffering from pneumonia, because their body is really trying hard to restore that oxygen. So you have different symptoms. You have irritability, you have bluish lips or nails, but these are not very common. Like, you know, you can have bluish lips or nails if you are using a nail polish and a lipstick also. But then, jokes apart, high fever, then cough, then sputum coming out, and rapid and difficult wheezing and noisy breathing, that can be one of the symptoms of what is called as pneumonia. You have these percentages, you can see it can be your cough, it can be your fatigue or fever or shortness of breath, sputum, or your chest pain. So these are some common symptoms. You can diagnose it by osculation, right? Auscultation, right? Where the doctors are actually putting stethoscope and they are hearing those sounds. You have fine crackles, it is called as, also called as rails, which can hear. I'm not a doctor, probably some doctor can tell us like how those crackles are, not the good ones actually. So those crackles or rails or pleural friction rub, that can help to diagnose your chest x-rays. Your sputum test or your blood test can actually tell us like how exactly or at which stage your pneumonia actually is. So you can easily also prevent it, like you can cover your mouth, or you can limit contact with other, maintaining some distance, washing hands, and then yes, the vaccines, they are really helpful in what you call as curing this, preventing this pneumonia. So crackles, as I told, like you can hear them with a stethoscope. You can have a chest x-ray done where you can find that what is actually happening. And respiratory breaths, I told, they are more 60 breaths per minute in children under 2 months, and 40 breaths per minute from 1 to 5 years. So actually that can be one way to diagnose it in children. You can have a low oxygen level and lower chest in drawing, like lack of wheezing is an indicator of mycoplasma pneumonia, and you may have chest pain. So different things in adults, I told, like CRP you can go for, or concentrations of procalcitonin, it can be taken into account, and influenza like illness. And adults, like if they are 65 years and above and they are cigarette smokers, then probably the risk of pneumonia would be very high. So as I told, that crackles or the noise and the x-rays, they can be really a chest radiograph, a CT scan, or a lung ultrasound can actually tell that how you are suffering or at what stage you are of at that pneumonia. So I told that different organisms, and you can do it with your blood culture, or you can get a pleural fluid, or you can go with what you call as the sputum culture, and you can identify which actually the pathogen is. Actually identifying the pathogen doesn't much change the way the disease is managed. So generally, isolating an organism is a tedious task. Those microbiologists who are actually working in the laboratories, they really know that how difficult it is to get a sample and then grow it, and then it will take some time. Then therefore people generally don't go for it. So more for more research purposes, and then yes, if it's not getting cured with routine treatments, then people go for these microbiologist tests. So causative agent, like almost around 15% of people only, they will go with these routine microbiology tests, otherwise they won't. So pneumonia, like classified like from where you have acquired, as I told, so on signs and symptoms, that how much it is, how much severe it is. In severe cases, it may result in lung abscess, it may result in sepsis, the pathogen may enter your bloodstream, it may cause septic arthritis, endocarditis, it may affect your heart there. But then, as I told, yes, you can treat it with antibiotics, thanks to Alexander Fleming, Selman Waxman, and a host all other scientists who really have worked hard. But then again, we are having the same problem of antibiotic resistance. Having a drug which is not functioning is as good as not having the drug. So we can also do it with physiotherapy management. So there are respiratory physiotherapy methods which can help to manage pneumonia. So I told that malnourishment or undernourishment, especially if a newborn is prevented from mother's milk due to any reasons, that increases a very, very high risk of catching this particular pneumonia. And I told that to prevent it, like, yes, it's vaccination, appropriate season wise, or flu vaccines can really help in reduction of these particular pneumonia cases. So CDC also recommends a yearly influenza vaccine for every person in 6 months and older people. And you have vaccines, yes, available for Haemophilus influenzae, Streptococcus pneumoniae, and they are actually doing a good job. And now we have a lesser load of this particular diseases. So we have vaccines for other pneumonia like pertussis, Yersinia, or measles. And then, as I told, like for viral, you can have some medications like your zanamivir, ostamivir, which will decrease the people who are exposed to the viral symptoms. So therefore, to reduce the symptoms, that is also one thing. And as I told, like stopping smoking or reducing your indoor air pollution, that can also reduce the incidences. So wearing a surgical mask and treating other illnesses like your HIV, AIDS, or diabetes, or malnutrition, if you take care of all these, which are the predisposing factors to pneumonia, can really, really help to combat this particular disease. So testing should be increased, and those who are hospitalized, they should be actually taking more care of. uh, this is one thing which people generally do, like they give points and they find out this curve score, the confusion, then the urea or respiratory rate, if it is more than 30, or your systolic blood pressure, how much it is, and if the age is about 65. So that is called as a curve 65 score. So like how much is the risk and how much is your score, like every thing is given 1 point, and then you can calculate according to that, that at which stage you actually belong. So I told that curve 65 score is used for determining that you really need to admit it or no. So if it is 0 to 1, people, like you can manage it at home. If it is 2, a short hospitalization. If it is 3 to 5, the hospitalization is strongly recommended. So out of these, how many symptoms you have? Like you have confusion. Many of them are having confusion right now with the lecture. Then you have urea levels increase, then you have respiratory rate increase, then you have your systolic blood pressure increased, and your age is also about 65. So if you're giving one point to these, and if you're calculating the curve score, and if it is more than 5, or not more than 5, or 3 to 5, then probably your admission to hospital is fixed. So I told that um, malnutrition is one of the major things. So supplementing children with good diet can actually reduce the level of this particular pneumonia. So I think there are so many things which go with pneumonia, like aspiratory pneumonitis or bacterial pneumonitis. But then yes, you can have some over-counter medications which can help you to feel better. You know, when there, once there is a pain, you can take some pain reliever, you can take some fever reducer, you can take some cough repressants, right, which will reduce your coughs, and you can take some breathing treatments and breathing exercises, using a humidifier and drinking plenty of fluids. Like what I personally believe is that these particular diseases, whatever we are facing today, matlab, ye sare kyun ho rahe? Because people are not having a good diet, people are not having good exercise. So not having a good diet, not having a good exercise, not having a good mindset, I think, like they are predisposing us more to these particular diseases. So if you are having a good lifestyle, like if you are getting up early in the morning, and if you are having proteinaceous food, if your food is rich with carbohydrates, if your food is rich with fats, if your food is rich with all that stuff, and if you are always under stress, obviously you are inviting n number of infections. So that is how it generally goes. Anyways, so follow up, yes, you may feel better. It depends, like what's your age and what caused you pneumonia, how severe it was, and what were your health conditions. So you can be contagious, like for a, like if you are having like viral pneumonia, probably you will be contagious like until you feel better. So therefore you have to take care of yourself. You can prevent it, as I told, if you take precautions. And yes, as I mentioned, you have PPV and PCV vaccines at your rescue. You have this pneumovax or Previnar vaccines also, vaccines against the flu or COVID-19, and the children also getting all those vaccines. So reduce your risk of pneumonia by quitting smoking, washing your hands frequently, avoiding your contact and items with other people who are suffering from them, and then eat healthy. That is one of the best things, I tell you. You will be predisposing yourself not only to pneumonia, to n number of diseases. You see, incidence of cancer, incidence of heart rates, they are all on increase. And I think the next pandemic is going to be of a lifestyle disease, where people are not having a good mindset, where people are not having a good diet, and people are not having a good exercise, people are not having enough rest, and that is predisposing you to number of diseases. So eat healthy diet, exercise, get enough rest, avoid alcohol consumption, and get your infections treated as early as possible. I think that is something which will what you call as help us to combat this particular pneumonia. So it is, I told, key having proper immunization for children, especially having breastfeeding for first 6 months, then having a really good nutrition, and then reducing air pollution. These are the four basic ways by which we can protect our children from these particular pneumonia. So signs and symptoms we already saw. If you are having fever, cough, mucus, shortness of breath, tiredness, chest pain, um, see a doctor. Change in the appetite, like if you are feeling less hungry, if you are feeling more hungry, then that is a different thing. So you can go to the emergency rooms, like if you are like having a worsening chest pain, if you are confused, and if you can't able to think clearly. Many of the people are not able to think clearly right now also. Prognosis also, like how the disease will go ahead, it will also depend on different factors, like what is your curb 65 score, what was the pneumonia severity infects, whether there was a lung abscess or not, from where this pneumonia was acquired. So all this will actually decide that how the disease will progress. So there are so many things which really need to be taken care of. But then yes, you need to be aware about this particular disease, and you need to be aware that community acquired pneumonia is really a major threat to the society. Oh, is it the last slide? We skipped many things, but I hope that we got an overview about pneumonia, right from history to the present context, and where we are heading towards in future. I once again thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Deshmukh sir, Shivasto sir, Sarad, then entire team. Shonil, who was in contact with me regarding this, a special thanks to him, Ipshita, Nikita, and all the really young team who has been really working hard for this webinar to be a great success. Thank you so much, and all the wonderful audience out there who were patient in listening to me. If there are any questions, like one or two, we can take, or otherwise, I'm with it.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I believe everyone loved it. It was really informative and enjoyable.
I tried my best. Like there are so many things, and we are not doctors actually. But then still, if I thought that we could have an overview about this entire context of pneumonia, I really, really, from the bottom of the heart, I apologize that I don't know names of so many people out there who really did a great job. but thanks to really all the organizers. Yes.
Thank you, sir. So
Thank you
there's
so
a
much, sir.
question in the chat. I would address it to you. Ajay Kumar Sharma is asking, what will be the severity of pneumonia infection in lung? Pardon me for the delay.
Yeah, I can
In
read that. I can read
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Ma'am, yes,
See,
kindly address it for the same.
I'll do that. See, as I just mentioned, Ajay sir, that I'm not a doctor actually, but then overall, what I know, like if a person is suffering from lung cancer, I think this will further complicate the issue, and treating cancer and then what you call as treating pneumonia at a time, like it will be really a difficult task for a doctor. So therefore, if we could increase our immune system, by having a good diet and exercise, I think that would be more better thing which can be done. And the next question he has asked is how it can be treated along with treating a cancer. A difficult task, as I told, like while you are treating a cancer, you are giving an immunosuppressive drug, and at the same time now you'll have to give a combination of antibiotics also. So I think, Ajay, this could be taken care of together, because a high dose of antibiotic obviously is given to an immunocompromised patient there. So you're trying to kill your own cells, at the same time you're trying to give antibiotics. So yes, it's going to be complicated, but then yes, things will work with a good doctor, I suppose. I think a doctor would be a more appropriate person for this. This is what I could say. Ajay, I hope I answered that. Thank you.
Okay, I guess Ajay would have got its answer. Priya, you have raised your hands. Do you have any question? Kindly proceed, ask it. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Priya, can you hear me?
Okay, I have dropped my number in the chat box. They can call me so that you can continue the session. Like it's only for that.
Sure, sir. Sure,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you so much, sir, for an interactive session and filled with humor. It was really thank you for the same. Now I
Thanks a
would
lot. Bye-bye.
request Anjana ma'am to please complete her presentation if she is available. Anjana ma'am, you can proceed.
Yes, thank you so much. I think I can share my slide now.
Yes, ma'am, you can
Yes,
share
ma'am,
it.
you can share. Something is happening. I just don't know why this is happening.
It's okay, ma'am.
It's okay, ma'am. Is it shared?
Ma'am, it is not visible right now. Some other screen was
Some other
visible.
screen
Now
was
it is not being on shared mode. You can try once again for sharing the
for
presentation.
sharing the. It's okay,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Now it is visible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. And sorry for the trouble. I just don't know what's wrong with the
No, ma'am, it's
today.
okay. You
Actually,
can
I didn't
proceed.
have
Thank
power.
you for waiting. Yes, ma'am, you can start. Thank you for waiting also. Thank you, ma'am. You can
Right now,
proceed with the lecture.
it's visible, right? Is it moving?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
It's
moving?
visible, but it's not moving. But ma'am, you can proceed with the lecture. We will be asking for the presentation.
Okay, so I was just trying whether it moves or not. It's not moving, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's not moving.
Okay, let it be. I think there's some problem. Okay, I just wanted to continue the lecture here. That I was talking about the distribution of Klebsiella pneumoniae in various wards, and the various wards that has been taken care of and that has been taken for the study was outpatients department, intensive care unit, operation theater, general ward, pediatric division, a new surgical ward, and inpatient departments and emergency. So out of these, all outpatient department as well as inpatient department, it showed the higher number of percentage of Klebsiella pneumoniae isolation, where outpatient department was 22.2%, while inpatient department was 19.5%. And taking all the samples from these departments and Klebsiella pneumoniae that has been checked for the antibiotic susceptibility pattern. Out of that, most of the antibiotics, there were almost 14, 15 antibiotics has been taken. And it shows most of the antibiotics resistance pattern has been shown, except ampicillin, where it shows almost 100% sensitive here. So, and when we talk of phenotypic detection of Klebsiella pneumoniae carbapenemase positive strains, so these positive strains, it showed about 47.2% were positive for the phenotypic detection. And similarly, when we talk of distribution of KPC, in short, I'm going to say KPC now, Klebsiella pneumoniae carbapenemase strains, among various samples. The samples which I talked earlier also, most of the people, maybe the students there who are listening might have forgotten. Just for once, I'll repeat. The type of the samples that we have taken was pus, blood, urine, sputum, and ET tubes, ET tips, etc. So in this urine and ET tips, they were showing high number of carbapenemase production organisms. And when we check for the antibiotic resistance pattern, and most of the organisms, most of the antibiotics, they showed resistance pattern, where meropenem was quite sensitive in compared to other antibiotics, which the Klebsiella pneumoniae, which produced carbapenemase production. And again, when we try to detect the BLA-KPC gene, here from the positive samples, there were only 8.3% BLA-KPC gene was detected. But from the negative samples, that is the BLA-KPC BLA gene was found more in the case of negative samples, that is 91.7%. So this means that most of the time we are losing the sample, losing the organism, which shows positive Klebsiella pneumoniae carbapenemase positive samples. So when we went for the comparison of BLA-KPC and type of the samples, so when I say type of the samples, these are again the samples from where it has been collected, like blood, pus, urine, sputum, etc. So out of these, positive BLA-KPC gene was found higher in case of urine sample, but from the negative BLA-KPC gene, which does not consist of the, from the negative BLA-KPC samples, we found more of the, that was more in the sputum samples. So naturally, this is causing pneumonia. So prevalence of Klebsiella pneumoniae according to age and gender, here I won't say that we are having more in the case of females, though the result shows here, because the number of the samples that has been collected from the female and male was not equal, so that's why it's not taken positively here. So I was showing the growth, that there were some figures, but unfortunately I'm not able to share the figures here, where antibiotic susceptibility pattern of the Klebsiella pneumoniae has been seen, and the confirmatory tests that has been taken with the meropenem has been shown here. But unfortunately, I'm not able to show the picture here. And however, I would like to jump to the conclusion that antibiotic resistance in Klebsiella pneumoniae is considered to be a major future challenge in Nepal. Especially this experiment has been done in the tertiary care in Nepal. And carbapenem resistance case in hospitals has increased quite rapidly compared to the previous years. And Klebsiella pneumoniae has potential to transfer antibiotic resistance plasmids to other nosocomial pathogens, thus creating complications in treatment of patients in hospitals. And again, the spread of the carbapenem resistance black KPC gene of Klebsiella pneumoniae, it enhanced a serious problem, and therefore early detection of such type of gene possessing, that is a black KPC gene, in case of Klebsiella pneumoniae should be isolated, and this will help in concept of the most appropriate antibiotics that can be used, and also for controlling transformation of such microorganisms with resistance gene in future. Thus, colistin was found to be the most effective drug in case of this treatment of infection that has been caused by carbapenem resistance Klebsiella pneumoniae. With this, I had just shown the paper, but unfortunately, I'm not able to show you all. With this, I would like to thank the organizers and AM Deshmukh sir for this opportunity to give a lecture in front of you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for inspiring us on the topic. Ma'am, there is a question by Ajay Kumar Sharma. I would like to address the same in the chat.
Yes.
What are the changes of sepsis caused by pneumonia? Rate of cure.
What are the changes? Can you
Changes
just
of
repeat the question?
sepsis.
What are the changes? Sepsis. Okay.
What are the changes?
Here,
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, when Klebsiella pneumoniae it causes the disease, generally, like as previously Girish sir has also said, it can be from the community as well as from the hospital nosocomial infections or the infection itself, or sometimes from the immunocompromised people, they get the disease. But the sepsis, as you are talking, is like in case of that, there are various types of samples that are taken here, and like blood samples has been also taken, right? So in this case, like blood it runs to the brains, and then these are the organisms that can cause bacteremia and septicemia. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you a lot for answering the question. I guess Ajay Kumar is well known for this thing. He would have understood the reply. And ma'am, I really thank you for waiting even for convening the lecture, and sorry for the glitches from our side and the wait. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I would request Shobnil to introduce our next speaker, and we will proceed for the same.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Shobnil, you can proceed.
Thank you, Kandi, for passing the baton. I would like to thank Anjana ma'am for those insightful words. As we continue with our session, it's my pleasure to introduce one of our resource persons of this symposium, who brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise on today's topic. So, Dr. Sridevi Kalyan ma'am has joined, I guess. Ma'am, are you there? Hello, ma'am. Are you there?
Dr. Sridevi, ma'am, can you please kindly respond?
Nitika, she is in meeting. I have seen she's attending the same. You can call her once to recall.
Yes, sure.
I would take this time to appreciate each participant who are with us till the starting till now. I can see the participant number are maintained. And those who have queries regarding the certificate, it will be issued after checking your eligibility of 75% attendance and registration as well. So kindly be patient for the same. We will be reverting back you soon, and through mail you will get your certificates. Now kindly be patient for the same till ma'am joins.
I guess ma'am is here and she's presenting her screen. So we will shortly start the lecture.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Whether my screen is visible to all?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. You can try doing it on slide mode if it is visible, ma'am. And you can see the slides are moving or not.
Yeah. Is it
Yes,
okay?
ma'am, the slides are moving and it's on slide board. Ma'am, you can proceed. Thank you for waiting, ma'am. You can proceed with the lecture. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's my immense pleasure to give a talk. I have listened Girish sir and Madam talk, which made my job very easy because they have explained everything very neatly and in a depth manner. So I want to repeat the same concept. I will have a glance regarding the repetition. This is like a recapitulation about what Madam and the sir has told. So we are discussing about the World of Pneumonia Day celebration, which is celebrated on November 12th. So, as you know, all pneumonia is an inflammatory condition of a lung, primarily affected by a small air, which is affected by the viruses. When our breathing is good, then we will survive as a healthy person. When breathing is not good, then we will suffer from many diseases, not only for pneumonia, it may be like a cancer or other symptoms also. So, symptoms typically include some combination of productive or a dry cough. So, the main pneumonia symptom arises from the dry cough, chest pain, fever, and difficulty in breathing. It arises in elders as well as in the children also. Pneumonia is usually caused by the infection with the virus or bacteria and less commonly by other microorganisms also. So what is there in our hand is nothing but whatever the diseases comes, we cannot stop it, but we can prevent it by taking care about our health. That is there in our hand. So pneumonia, it is affecting mainly on the lungs. Pneumonia is an infection as one or both of a lung treatment. So we can see the no. What do you mean by pneumonia in depth is nothing but it is like an infection. That much we have to understand. The infection maybe arises by bacteria, virus, or the fungi also. As I told the symptoms, sir has told what are the symptoms in depth. So here just I am telling the common symptoms like cough, fever, shortness of breathing, and the chest pain. So this risk we can see in young children and elders also. So what is the word of pneumonia day? What is the importance of celebration of this pneumonia day is nothing but to get the awareness and to spread the awareness about the pneumonia and prevent the pneumonia in the yearly manner. As we are seeing that every year we are getting so many cases regarding this pneumonia. So by celebration of this pneumonia day, we are in this regard we are spreading the awareness towards the common peoples how pneumonia takes place, what are the causes, what are the symptoms, how to prevent this pneumonia. That much, if you spread to the common people, that is the main motivation or the main aim of this celebration. So, pneumonia is a leading cause of death among the children under the 5 years, and the global effort can help to save these livelihoods by taking the vaccination and the health care. And main important is the education. Education makes the awareness towards the any health consciousness. And many risks we are taking, as sir has already told this one. So any kind of decisions is taking place because of the bad habits. It may be in the form of smoke, it may be in the form of alcoholic or any kind of drugs we are taking, which is opposite to our health. So that leads to another one kind of diseases. Though that depending upon the symptoms, we are naming that this is so and so disease. Like that, we are classifying that. Okay, and these are the repetitions. So what are the how the pneumonia is taking place? It is arising from the cough, fever, and shaking of chills, shortness of breathing, sharp or the stabbing chest pain during the deep breath. Okay, and the typical signs and the symptoms in children's under the 5 are we can see the fever, cough, and the fast or difficult breathing. Fever is not very specific as it occurs in many other common illness also. But if it exceeds the normal condition, then we can go for the checking about whether it is a pneumonia or other diseases. Okay, so pneumonia arises from many cases like bacteria and virus and fungi also. So other commonly isolated bacteria includes different kinds of bacteria are there. Streptococcus pneumonia isolated in nearly 50% of cases we are seeing every year. And another bacteria, Haemophilus influenza in 20% we can see. And chlamydophila, it is also another kind of a bacteria which is taking place about 13%. These are the different kind of bacteria having the different percentage of cases which is arising here. The number of drug resistance version of the above infections are becoming more common, including the drug resistance, streptoscope, which in short we can call it as a DRSP, and MRSA. These are the short form of the drugs we are supplying for this pneumonia treatment. And how this pneumonia mechanism takes place, you can see the diagram here. A healthy person is having the lung in a form of this is a normal normal person lung, and this is the abnormal person which is infected by the pneumonia disease. This lung is filled with the fluid, okay, which is having air spaces. So because of the filling of this air fluid, he is unable to breathe properly. So this is the in common simple language we can understand what is the picture of a pneumonia patient and a normal patient lung. Okay, and how to diagnose this? We can whenever we consult the doctor, first they will check by taking the stethoscope. What is the difference between the normal person lungs checking and the abnormal person is nothing but whenever the pneumonia patient goes and meet the doctor, when they check the lungs by the stethoscope, they will see the crackle sounds. Okay, I will show you that sound now, how it will be, how it listens now. So in this manner, we can see the crackle sound for the abnormal patient. Okay. The World Health Organization has defined the pneumonia in children clinically based on either a cough or difficulty in breathing and a rapid respiratory rate, chest indrawing, or a decreased level of consciousness. By seeing these symptoms, they can go for the diagnosing this pneumonia. In children, low oxygen level and lower chest indrawing are more sensitive than hearing a chest crackles with a stethoscope or increased respiratory rate. So these are the shortcut how we can diagnose this pneumonia by using the stethoscope. Okay, vaccines to prevent the certain types of pneumonia, such as those caused by the Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria, linked to influenza or linked to COVID-19, are available. Other method of prevention include the hand washing to prevent the infection and not smoking. See, whatever the bacteria is infected to human body, that can be maintained or prevented by maintaining the cleanness among ourselves and among the environment also. When you see our ancestors' lifestyle, whenever they come to the home, before entering to the home, they were used to wash their hand and the legs. That shows that outside whatever the bacteria or the viruses which is attached to their foods or their hands, it will be thrown outside only, and they will come healthily inside the home. So it is the scientific thinking how our elders are think. Now by the development of science and technology, now we are getting the awareness why they used to do like that. So whatever our ancestors they used to do, everything is having the scientific background about that. Only thing is we should have a keen observation why they are doing like that. Okay, so the treatment depends upon the underlying cause. Pneumonia believed to be due to the bacteria is treated with the antibiotic. If the pneumonia is served, the affected person is generally hospitalized, and oxygen therapy may be used in the oxygen level, because the main pneumonia problem is that that patient is unable to breathe properly. So whenever the patient is hospitalized, the first treatment is nothing but they will go for the oxygen therapy. Prevention and the treatment methods, it contains PCV, HIV, and measles, nutrition, hygiene, and making the patient to be non-smoking. And the treatment is taken in the form of antibiotic, oxygen therapy, and other supportive cases. And World Phenomena Day events, sample events, and activities we can see here. So every year, many organizations they will show their interest to get the awareness, to give the awareness to the peoples in the form of webinars, health camps, awareness campaigns, and we can also participate as a attendee virtual sessions, organize a local awareness walk, or a host educational event. So by doing these activities, so that at least few of the peoples they get the awareness about the pneumonia in the sense that that gives the more happiness to us. The success stories cases to be spread in the form of a drama, like that we can get the awareness about the pneumonia. So conclusion, what can I tell that instead of getting the infection by any kind of diseases, so if we keep ourselves as a clean by maintaining the cleanness by ourselves and maintaining the cleanness to our surrounding, so we can prevent the infection. When the infection is prevented, no need to get any kind of a disease. It doesn't mean that we won't get the disease, but we can minimize the amount of the percentage of diseases which is causing to our health. A small action can contribute to a big change in the awareness and the health outcomes. So I conclude my session by a quote that every human being is the author of his own health or the diseases. Health, we are the boss for our health. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sridevi ma'am, for an insightful session. Now I would request Kunjala to please convey us the vote of thanks. Kunjala, are you there?
Yes. I, Kunsala Pranavi, currently serving as organizing committee member in GFSRD, take up this honor to propose vote of thanks. Distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, colleagues, and participants from around the world, it is my great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for this year's International Symposium on World Pneumonia Day. As we come to the close, as we come to the close of this enlightening and thought provoking gathering, I want to express our deep gratitude to everyone who has made this international symposium a remarkable success. First and foremost, I extend a heartfelt thanks to our Chief Guest Professor, Dr. Lancelot D. Cruz, Sir, Chairperson, Mrs. Preetha Ghosh, Ma'am, Keynote Speaker, Professor Dr. Anjana Singh, Ma'am, our Resource Person, Dr. Sridevi Kalyan, Ma'am, and Resource Person 2, Mr. Kukreja Girish, Sir, and our distinguished guest professor, Dr. Raratno Kavuri. Your expertise, perspectives, and groundbreaking research have enriched our sessions and sparked important conversations that will continue beyond the symposium. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and insights with us. To our international delegates and participants who joined us from various parts of the world, thank you for your engagement, questions, and contributions. Your presence and active participation have been integral to the success of this event, fostering an exchange of ideas that embodies the spirit of global collaboration. A special thanks to the organizing committee and all our dedicated volunteers for their incredible hard work and meticulous planning. Your attention to detail and commitment to excellence have ensured the smooth running of the symposium, both in person and online. Our gratitude also goes to our sponsors and partners for their generous support. Your belief in the importance of the symposium has provided us with the means to bring together experts and participants from across the world, and for that, we're truly grateful. Finally, a big thank you to the technical team who made it possible to connect and communicate seamlessly across borders and time zones. Your efforts allowed us to engage with one another, share knowledge, and strengthen connections worldwide. Thank you all once again for making this International Symposium on World Pneumonia Day such a successful and memorable event. We look forward to the new collaboration, innovation, and insights that will emerge from our discussions here. Safe travels to everyone, and we hope to see you at next year's symposium. The
Thank
meeting
you,
is officially over.
thank you everyone for joining. I would convey the speakers would have gotten their certificates through WhatsApp by Nitika, and it would also be mailed to you. And for the other participants, we will be mailing your certificates after seeing your eligibility, that you have filled the you are a registered candidate, as well as you have fulfilled the 75% attendance criteria. Thank you very much for joining. I would request everybody to join our upcoming event, that is a podcast session on World Pneumonia Day, 14th of November. The forms are already released. Kindly do register for the same, and we will see you all on 14th of November for the podcast session on World Diabetes Day. Thank you, everyone, every participant, every speaker. Thank you very much for your time and for your enthusiasm.
Kanvi.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, all the sessions were good.
Thank you, ma'am. It
It
all
was
goes
well
to the
organized
team.
also. Maybe some technical issues were there, but still, it was a good, like a good informative thing also. Like all the
Thank
people were good and the experts with the field, and it was really informative, I felt.
Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank
sharing
you,
your
ma'am.
feedback.
And also, all your organizing team is good enough to organize these activities.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll convey the same to them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your feedback. Thank you, everyone. Now the meeting is officially over. Hope we will see you on 14th of November for the podcast session. Thank you, everyone. You may leave the room.
Thank you.